coming
It's not
up.
necessarily that. It's just a different feeling. Like you said, there's a feeling you have, like you feel like a man.
No, there is no feeling to a man.
But you don't have
Men-
any masculine feeling.
No. Real men don't have feelings. They only have feelings if they've been traumatized, and so they try to make themselves feel like what they think a man feels.
You're saying no
Well,
emotion?
No, men are not feeling, they're logical.
Okay, you know what? This is really, I love this. Okay, so, Kobe passed. I have never seen so many men cry and show emotion when that man died.
Those were beta
tragically, right? What's that?
Those were beta males.
Wait, I'm sorry. Beta males.
Yes.
I've seen.
Beta.
Okay, no, yeah. You know what? But it's
And so you are what they call an inclusive dating coach.
Yes.
What does that mean, inclusive dating coach?
So a lot of dating coaches, first of all, in Los Angeles, a lot of us know each other. We've all been doing it for a little while. A lot of the dating coaches that I know mainly focus on heterosexual, cisgendered, matrimonial-minded dating, which is totally fine. I have zero judgment around that. But then there's a lot of people, especially in the big city, who are doing things a little different. There's some people who are, there's the LGBT community. There's people who are polyamorous. There are people who are into all different lifestyles. And so I say inclusive because I want singles to feel like they can come to me without judgment.
Oh, I see.
And also, I know a lot of these lifestyles I'm speaking about, so also it's good to have a coach that kind of knows who you are and what your lifestyle is and what you're going through. And I'd like to think that's me. There's things I don't know. I don't know everything, but I know more than, say, someone who's only seeking out, let's say, a mainstream vanilla relationship.
Oh, I got you. And so do you give dating advice to transgender people?
I do.
And define transgender. What is that?
So since I'm not transgender, a transgender person could explain it better than I could. But the trans people in my life are people who, from birth, from a very young age, felt like they did not match up with the gender they were assigned at birth as. So, you come out of your mother, it's a boy.
Right.
And some people feel like they don't fit that. And they were labeled that because of body parts and certain anatomy things, that they feel a certain way. Just really quickly on that topic, I have some I'm actually dating somebody who is transgender.
You are?
Yes, female to male. And
what?
Yes.
What
and,
the?
Yeah. And
What's that like?
New experiences. So I'd only dated somebody who, I've only dated cisgendered men. So men who were born as a boy feel like boys. That's all I dated growing up through my life.
Right.
But I've always had people in my life of everything, right? And obviously I'm someone who's not judgmental. And I met this person. If you met them, you would look at them. He's 6'2", ex-military, very masculine looking. You would never know that he's transgender unless he told you. And so he's what you call stealth in public. And I met him and I'm like, this person is so attractive. And he actually looks like a lot of exes of mine. And so there's some slight differences, but not really. And so it's been a really interesting journey for me in terms, well, first of all, being a dating coach, right? It's I have so much to say about this experience and this relationship, but also it's an interesting place to be in, to just be attracted to a human. And also, even though I think I'm so open-minded and thought I was so open-minded and so woke and had all these friends, it's a different thing. You're posed with a lot of different questions about yourself and what you thought about yourself and how you judge others and think about others when you're presented with somebody who totally is different from what you expected to
So
meet.
you are dating a woman who thinks that she's a man?
I won't agree. That's not a correct statement. I'm dating someone who was assigned female at birth.
When you say assigned, meaning that God assigned this person as a female?
I wouldn't say it like that either. But when my boyfriend was born, they were like, it's a girl.
And
And
this girl
then-
had a VJ.
I won't talk about genitalia. Yeah, that's just
Well, let's assume they had one.
you can make whatever assumption
Okay.
you'd like. Sure.
And
sure.
then at some point, this girl felt like a guy.
So let me say this: everyone's journey is a little bit different.
Right.
I have some other transgender people in my life who, grew up feeling differently than, say, my boyfriend felt. He's always felt very masculine, so I can't say that there were ever like feelings of, oh, I feel like a girl. I've not ever heard him say that.
Right.
So yeah, but everyone's journey is so different with that, like. He transitioned later in life. I don't want the interview to only be about him.
Of course,
But
yeah.
it is a part of my life, and
And
I
help
do want
us
to
to
be open
understand
about
why you.
1,000,000%,
Yeah.
1,000,000%, yeah.
And so when you first
He's a lovely person.
When you first met this person, did you think it was a woman or a guy when you first
He
saw
was very
eyes?
looks like
Oh, okay.
what we think a man looks like.
And how did you discover it wasn't a man?
He was straight up
Oh, he
honest.
was?
Oh yeah. That's the thing it's a shame about
Yeah.
what's happening in society right now. I feel like there's a lot of fear because people feel like they're going to be tricked.
Right.
Or, oh no, surprise. And no, from the beginning, he was like, before our first date, we met on a dating app. And before our first date, he messaged me and he was like, before we meet, I want to make sure you know that I'm trans. And he said it on his profile. I said, yeah. I said, I think a transmasculine was the word he used. I said, I think I know what that means. I have some transgender friends in my life. And he's like, I just want to make sure that you have all the information before we meet,
Right.
which I
Well,
so
that's good.
appreciated,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
He checked in with me and then he walked through the door, again, 6'2", muscular, ex-military. And actually, we just went through a really scary experience a couple weeks ago. I was in my neighborhood. We were getting breakfast, and a guy came up to us. My boyfriend's white. A guy came up to us.
Your boyfriend is white?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
This guy came up from around. I saw him, my boyfriend, look behind me. We were talking. He kissed me because he was about to go fly away for a business thing. This other person came behind me, a foot from my face, looked in my eyes and said, no one wants to see a nigger kissing, and then spit on both of us. And my boyfriend jumped into action and put his body literally in between me and this guy who was, I don't know, he was coming at me.
Right.
Again, that was another interesting thing of like, I think people have a specific idea or vision of what someone who's a different gender or, all these things does. But he snapped into action to protect me in a moment's notice,
Amazing.
More than like any cisgender guy I've dated in my life,
Wow.
It's like, yeah.
Cisgender means a straight guy, heterosexual man.
Cisgender meaning born a boy, feels like a boy, man.
Oh, okay.
Yes, like you're a cisgendered man.
Heterosexual guy.
No, not necessarily. It just means that you feel like your gender. But like sexual orientation and like, you can be cisgendered and be gay, or you can be cisgendered and be straight. So you
Amazing.
just feel like I'm a cisgendered woman. I feel like a woman born a girl.
But being a heterosexual man, there is no feeling to it at all. You just is.
But see,
you are a man, but
but-
there's no feeling.
but
It
transgender
seems
people
like
would
the
say
only
that
time,
too.
I feel like it seems as though from talking to people, the only time the feelings come with identity is when you've been traumatized.
Not all the time. I mean, I've known a lot of gay people in my life, growing up with a small age, and it's not necessarily that. It's just a different feeling. Like you said, there's a feeling you have, like you feel like a man,
No, there is no feeling to a man.
but you don't have
Men-
any masculine feeling.
No. Real men don't have feelings. They only have feelings if they've been traumatized, and so they try to make themselves feel like what they think a man feels.
You're saying no
Well-
emotion?
No, men are not feeling, they're logical.
Okay, you know what? This is really, I love this. Okay, so, Kobe passed. I have never seen so many men cry
Beta.
and show emotion when that man died.
Those were beta males.
tragically, right? What's that?
Those were beta males.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No.
Beta males.
Yes.
I've seen.
Beta!
Okay, no, yeah. You know what? But it's Well, I'm not a man, so
Right.
I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is that I was very moved by the level of emotion that was shown by guys I've never seen cry in my life. Guys who
Amazing.
are super muscular, what people would think is, like dudes who are like boxers and like, like I have a lot of athletes in my life.
Right.
People like that who were just like bawling for like a week. So I mean, I don't know.
That's
I mean,
a sad story.
But again, Jesse, you're talking to somebody who, on so many levels, I don't think there's one way people are. I know for myself, I don't fit any stereotypes. I did tell you, there's not gonna be enough time.
I want to go back real fast to the
yeah,
story
of
with your
course.
boyfriend thing, so we can move on.
Okay.
And so you had never been with a transgender male person before, right?
No.
Before that time.
Correct.
And so he comes over to your place, and you decide.
I might not answer this question, but go ahead.
and
I'll be
so-
honest with you, though. Yeah.
Of course. And so you decide, you know what, even though I know what this is,
Mm-hmm.
let me adjust my mind to go along with it. How was that for you to know that? Had they had the surgery done and all that?
I won't get into anything about it.
How did you decide to pretend it was a man, even though in your mind you knew what it was?
Well, there was no pretending because it's human beings, and I was attracted to this person. And I will say, I mean, there was definitely some element of surprise because I'd not dated someone like him before.
Right, yeah.
In some ways, but I'm telling you, Jesse, this person that I met, my boyfriend, when I met him, I mean, he was so on brand with like almost all of the guys I dated in my life in terms of his energy, in terms of his presence, kind of the way he looks. Like he wasn't that different. I mean, and so in that way, it wasn't like a huge adjustment. I will say that, I am somebody again who maybe is more open-minded than most, but it wasn't this huge like, okay, I need to like change my brain so that I can like love this person. It wasn't like that.
You're unusual for a black person because normally black people don't accept that kind of stuff. They don't just accept anything that comes along.
I don't know. I don't know. Again, I can't speak for all black people, but I know a lot of black people who are in the LGBTQ rainbow who do a lot of things, and are. I also know some very straight black people too, but I know what you mean. I think in the black, and that's a whole other conversation. I think in the black community there is less acceptance and sometimes more resistance. There's a lot of tradition. There's, religion comes into play with a lot of things. But there's also, Jesse, I've seen, especially being a dating coach for 12 years, there's so much shame attached to how people feel and how people want to live their lives based on how their families are going to treat each other, how community sees them, how, religion might judge somebody, that people aren't living their truth a lot of times. And they're not happy. For me, let's go back to being a dating coach. For me, any client that comes to me, I do some speaking at colleges too around dating safety, and say there's like a 17 or 18-year-old that I'm talking to, and they're like, I want to be this, but I'm nervous because I don't want to say something to my parents. And this is not necessarily about being gay or anything like that, but maybe someone, someone just doesn't want to get married. But there's so much pressure, or have kids, and there's pressure around, this what we call the relationship escalator of meet someone, date someone, marriage, kids, whatever. Because that's the pattern, and especially American society, if someone doesn't want to do that, there's so much judgment attached, and there's so much shame attached to maybe not doing something the way your parents want you to do it or society wants, that anyway, I could get into a whole thing about it. But so my thing is to encourage and empower people to live however they feel is right for them, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else.
Right.
That's my goal.
So one last question about your boyfriend.
Okay, let's go.
Do you take him around your family, your black family?
Yeah,
Your
my
family?
cousin from Indianapolis came into town to celebrate her birthday last year, and she brought all of her friends, and it was like her and her 4 black girlfriends and me and my white transgender boyfriend. And he could hang. He's from South Texas. Like he's around like ethnic people all the time, so it's not a big deal. He can hang.
But did
like,
they know it wasn't a real man?
yeah, they know. I will not accept those words.
Which word?
But real man.
Oh.
But they loved him. They love him.
And they knew the deal, the whole deal.
They know certain things, but like my cousin, she's family, so I might tell her more than I'll tell someone I just met.
Oh, okay.
And because really, here's the thing: it's up to him, it's up to me, it's up to the individual to tell whoever they want to tell about them and their journey. Like Jesse, like I don't know your journey fully. I could never, even if we sat for 3 hours and talked, right?
Right.
So it would be unfair for me to be like, oh, Jesse's this, Jesse's
Right,
that.
yeah.
That's just not my place.
I got
so
you.
yeah,
So speaking of shame,
yeah.
when people are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
are they ashamed of being wrong because inwardly they know they're wrong, or are they ashamed of being wrong because are they concerned about what others think?
I mean, it depends on, I guess, what topic it is, right? I mean, for me, I feel like shame generally comes. Well, it depends. Are you doing something to harm somebody, or are you doing something that isn't harming someone, but you're afraid of what other people are gonna think, you know, or if they're gonna judge you? I think that shame can be helpful if you're doing something bad or hurtful to someone.
How about a transgender person? They know inwardly they all know it's wrong. They just don't know how to
No,
overcome it.
I don't agree with that, and so I can't go down that line.